I tell you to sit y'all's asses down on the couch?
I had no idea that you were a comedian too.
That's how I got the Vice.
That's dope, man.
Comedian and philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You study philosophy?
I was a philosophy professor at the same time I was a comic in New York.
Are you serious? Gangster. The philosophy thing I definitely get. The comedy thing not so much, because you're not that funny to me.
I think you're pretty funny.
Well, you think everybody funny. You don't really even count when you come on. You think everybody funny. He ain't funny like that. Right. But I mean, obviously, people laugh at your jokes, so
Are we starting the show or no?
Oh, we on it.
We're doing the show now.
We're doing the show now.
Okay. I'm just saying.
He's going back. Don't hold back now. Don't hold back now. Nah, let it ride.
Hey, let it ride. He did like this.
Yeah.
We starting the show now? Guns is out.
I need to adjust my disposition accordingly.
That was so potent. We going now?
Yeah,
okay,
you know what I'm saying? Because I saw you warming up. I said,
No. The show about to start right now. Welcome to Three Black Guys on the Couch, where three black guys give you our perspective on everything. I'm O'Neal.
I'm Renee.
Alzo.
Three black guys on the couch. What's up, fellas?
Yo, who?
Oh, no. oh my God. Just go ahead and say it, man. Go ahead, just get out. Here we go.
I just got a question.
Go ask it.
Who came up with the name Three Black Guys
Who you think?
on the couch?
Who you think?
Me.
So if you ain't black, you can't sit on this couch?
No, you can sit on this couch. As a matter of fact, that's a good question. That's actually a great question. No, you can sit on this couch. As a matter of fact, when you sit on this couch, you can be honorary black for the time that the show's going on.
And who grants this honorary status? Who has the authority to grant this honorary status?
I mean, I like to think myself, but I mean,
I don't know.
I like to think me, but
there's a lot of weight though that comes with that too. If you're gonna be honorary black, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's got to be some do's and don'ts, obviously, when it comes to that.
And we discussed
100%.
You already know the first one, right?
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
You already know the first one. Sometimes I, look at the person. I'm like, you already know what you can't say. So.
But if you got three black guys on the couch is the name of the show.
Yeah.
And then you have someone who's not black.
Yeah.
And that you have deemed to be honorary black.
Yeah.
Do you explain that to the audience or you just rock?
100% we explain to the audience.
I was about to say, because you can't be having no show three black men on the couch.
It's for the hour or so too. It's not like for the day. You know what I'm saying?
They just get that.
They get that 1 hour.
As soon as
they get up off the couch.
As soon as they get off the couch, I'm like, get your colonized man. Go somewhere, man. They're like, what happened, O'Neal? You ain't on the couch no more, bro. The show over. But other than that,
you got cats getting up off the couch trying to dap people up.
Yeah, I'd be like, stop all
going
that.
to the barbecues uninvited.
Nah. Yeah, calling me up, talking about what's up. I'm like, why you calling me? We ain't on the couch no more. It's a wrap. But then every now and then you do have, and we all have those white friends, those white people that love the culture and they study it. And you're like, man, you kind of cool outside of the couch. Like
that's
Austin.
most white people.
That's most white people. But like Austin, what is Austin considered? Stop. Hold up. Hold up. Now we can get your true feeling on Austin.
Well, you could have got my true feelings without this microphone and these cameras.
All right, my bad. But now we'll get it now anyway.
What you want? What you want to know?
How you feel about Austin?
Austin cool, man.
You cool?
Yeah, man. Austin good in my book, dog.
Okay.
Austin's cool as fuck.
Yeah, he cool to me. Cool to me
He's
too.
inspiring.
You cool. Everybody fuck with you, bro. Yes. The couch pass.
Right now, Austin is couch adjacent.
Couch adjacent. You couch adjacent. Mm-hmm. You should accept that though. Yeah. I think I mess with Austin because I can't believe I'm even saying this because I never give him compliments. But I can relate to him on all different platforms, which is, transcends color.
But I got to say now, on first glance, Austin can go either way. That joker got a bald head with tattoos, and they be wearing these boots and shit, and the camo, and I'm like, and the hats, and the trucker hats. I'd be like, boy, if I didn't know Austin, I had to sit back and observe for a little bit to make sure.
Bro, 100%. He looked like he hate black people. He just looked like, but then when you talk to him, he talk about Margiela and launching brands, and I'm looking at him like, you got this, Southern Alabama, he don't say dad, he say paw type look. You know what I'm saying? But
that joker definitely could be in khakis and with with them tiki torches.
So sometimes it be confusing me because I come in and you come in, when we come in, I'll be mad at him, looking at him like, look at this racist. I'm like, that's my boy Austin. He just throws me off, man.
But I feel like sometimes them jabs you be throwing at Austin be uncalled for, bro.
Oh, we gonna talk about that.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know y'all history.
Yeah.
So
we got history, right? You feel like I come at you too hard sometimes? You speak your mind, man.
It's all fair game. It's fair game.
Yeah,
It's fair game.
Alzo's being nice.
Yeah, I know.
You know, Renee might feel the same way, but I just feel like, this is what I feel. I feel like you're around us a lot and you're around the culture and you benefit from the culture in a lot of different ways I won't talk about right now.
Well, you don't have to talk about it because people who smart enough, they know the ways now.
So the show's 3 black guys on the couch. You focus on the white guy sitting off.
I mean,
the couch.
I can't. You're a captivating person. What do I say?
I mean, what classifies somebody as looking like a racist, though?
Are you serious? Can you tell him? You want to tell him?
You saying like having a camo hat makes you? It's like that's a.
No, I think it's just, I don't know if I really believe in the such thing as human nature, but I think it is, for lack of a better phrase, is within our nature to use what we've seen in the past, like through our memory, to familiarize ourselves with people. Like, we make judgments. Like, it's almost like a survival technique. It's like, okay, I see the way this person looks. I've met 10 people that look the same way as this joker, and every time that I've seen a joker that looked like this is what they do. So it may be wrong, but I just think it's within our nature to assume without having experienced. And then I think it's up to us as humans to engage in the experience so we don't have to make blanket judgments.
I agree with that. I feel like seeing you at first glance, Austin, like the way that you dress and with the camo and all that stuff, like it could come off as like and this is no disrespect, like a Larry the Cable Guy type, like, you know what I'm saying? But you have style, but even talking to you, like, you're probably more up on hip hop than I am. You know what I'm saying? Like okay, stop. But I'm giving credit to where that's due though, you know? Like, it's a thing. So it's like you actually have to talk to the person to actually like peep game. But
that's interesting because that what you just said, that's true. We judge based on past experiences, which is funny because we were just talking about how the with Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, how people are in uproar about black dragon riders and black dwarves and black elves. And as a person of color, you're like, man, what are you talking about? Why can't be no black elves? Why can't be no black dragon riders? But then you think about it, you're like, well, people are just used to seeing these, these mythical characters as white. When I was young and I'd open those books and read those books, they were white. How you feel about that?
About
black elves and black dragons and black.
Well, elves and dragons don't exist, so I really don't care what color you put on them.
How you know they don't exist?
Well, I mean, to me, they don't. I don't believe that they exist.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? You believe dragons and elves exist?
Alzo, in my, and this is just me, okay? In my experience in living life, I don't discount anything. I used to laugh at GMOs. Now they exist. I used to laugh at cloning. Now that exists.
My question was pretty straight, though.
What you mean?
Do you believe in that dragons and elves exist?
Well, I don't feel comfortable saying yes or no because I don't want to alienate anybody that does believe in it. Yet I don't want to have people feel like I'm some crazy person that believes in it because the world unfortunately puts you in a box. And if I say I believe in elves and dragons, then people gonna think I'm kind of crazy.
So you just can't stand on your own.
Then you boxing me in.
Okay.
I
you got to
think,
answer now.
Okay, I got to answer now. I think everything comes from a bit of truth.
Everything?
A bit of truth, a bit of truth, yeah, a bit of it. So perhaps there were dragon-like creatures. Perhaps there were like elf-like creatures.
You know what? This is a point that I won't disagree with you on because I do feel like, check this out. I feel like you cannot imagine something that you have never experienced.
That's a good point.
That's very true.
And some people watching, they're gonna be like, what? I imagine a unicorn, but I ain't never experienced a unicorn, but you've experienced a horse and a horn. And through your intellectual creativity, you put those two together and boom, you got a unicorn.
Hey, you on a roll right now, bro.
No, I'm on a sofa right now with 2 other black dudes.
That is facts. But I feel even when you look at it though, like that, with the same example of a unicorn, like now a unicorn it's known. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, it's talked about. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody knows what a unicorn is. It's not just like a one person thing where it's like, hey, there's a unicorn. Everyone like, you know, everyone else is like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's a part of everyone's imagination now. So in a sense, that does kind of make it real. That's my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying?
That's well said. that leads me to this question though. You're a well-traveled guy. Have you come across or experienced something that was like so out of your realm of believability that you were like, whoa, is this, you know?
Not necessarily, but I will say my my worldview on things or my perspective on things has been adjusted as a result of some of the traveling that I've done and the people that I've met. Yeah, like in ways that I wouldn't have imagined.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you expound on that?
Well, people often ask me what is one of the like most memorable or one of the craziest stories I've ever did, and I did a story on this is gonna be rough. I did a story on non-offending pedophiles. So a pedophile by definition is someone who is attracted to kids, but they don't have to have acted on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there are a number of people who are attracted to kids. They know it's wrong and they haven't offended, right? And they seek help. In America, there are mandatory reporting laws. So if you go to see a therapist and you're trying to negotiate these feelings that you have for young people in a way that you can manage it and not offend, but the therapist deems you a risk to kids, they have to report you. It's mandatory that they report you.
Wow.
In Germany, they don't have mandatory reporting laws. So there's this center where like non-offending and some offending pedophiles go. And I met with the director of this center, bro. He's a doctor. And he was like, these people need help and they should be able to get help. Now, initially, when you think of pedophile, you like, nah, hell nah. Even the most crooked of the criminals are like, fuck pedophiles. Nah, they got to go. They get shanked in the, you know what I'm saying?
In jail,
And straight up,
they
bro.
get the worst,
They're
right?
getting the worst. And so, but then I'm like, okay, I'm in a position where I'm empathizing with these dudes. Like, they should be able to get help.
Yeah.
So that's where I stretched it a little bit, but then check this out. This was going to fuck you up. The doctor said he believes pedophilia is a sexual orientation.
That I've heard about that.
And the ramifications of this is, okay, we 3 black dudes on the couch, right? Let's say we wanna go get a job and they don't hire us because we black. That's a violation of our civil rights. We was born like this.
Yeah.
So if it's your sexual orientation and you try to go get a job at a school, at a middle school or a preschool, and they don't hire you because of it and you never offended, then that's a violation of your civil rights.
Wow.
That's crazy, huh?
That's crazy.
I was like, all right, I don't know about that one, dog.
But you know, it makes me think about how we straddle these lines now. And listen, sometimes I have a friend that was teaching the improv class at the Groundlings. We were, all in the Sunday company together. And he called me one day and he was like, hey man, I need some advice. I don't know how to handle this. And I'm like, what? He's like, I have a transgendered person in my class that wants to be referred to as she. And I'm like, well, what's the problem? Refer to her as she. He's like, all right. He's like, but the problem is when we do sketches on stage, for improv purposes, whatever I label you, you have to be. So if I say you a crybaby, a male crybaby, you got to be a male crybaby. That's improv, right? So he said every time they would start doing sketches and somebody would be like, she's this or he's that, she would stop the sketch and be like, yo, I am not that. And he was like, okay, I don't want to get fired from my job or get sued. So, it would always create this weird, strange interaction and everybody in the class is not learning. Everything gets held up. She goes into this whole soliloquy about what she is, even though it's make-believe.
That's tough.
That's tough, right? So, I mean, the whole idea is like, okay, how do you want me to address this thing that I'm not that familiar with and makes no sense to me, but I'll give you the space, I think.
But I don't know about that one, Doc, because, I rock with the trans, the queer, I rock with all of them. You know what I'm saying? And I respect it. if you're gonna put yourself in improv, if you're gonna put yourself in a world where you're acting, like we talking about the elves and the dragons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you ain't no dragon right now. But as soon as they say action, and that's what you getting paid to be a dragon.
You paid to be a dragon. You a
So
dragon.
you need to be a dragon, and you agreed to be a dragon.
But that's where it's getting really weird because I almost feel like, and I'm gonna get some heat for this. I almost feel like because they've been marginalized and locked away, now that the floodgate is opening, it's like worn on your sleeve a lot, and it's like, okay, listen, I rock with all that too, but don't get mad at me if I have a little bit of a misunderstanding. Help educate me and help sit me down and say like, well, this is what it is, and this is how I like to be referred to. Or this, that,
yeah,
and the other.
but I think there's a lot of people out there that ain't open like that. You know, a lot of cats out there that don't approach it with that level of grace and vulnerability. And like, I don't know. It's like, listen, I know a dude got a dick and a gal got a vagina, and that's it. And that's how they approach folks. And if you are of that community and you see you assume that people go and approach you like that, man, you're gonna have your guard up, bruh.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on the person, and I think it all depends on the situation, because it's like, it has to come from both sides. The respect has to come from both sides.
Yeah.
With some of the work that I do, because I work in this field, in terms of like therapy, and I work a lot with LGBTQ and transgender.
Yeah.
It's still new to me. I've been working in this industry for about a couple of years, and it's still new to me. So when I have a client that I'm working with and I get their pronouns wrong, there's usually the respect as to where like, we know you're new, or we know that you're just getting like into this space. So they'll just correct me lightly. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not as to where, I might say, oh, he's doing great. And then she might be like, she. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that has to come from both sides, where they understand, okay, he's trying, or he's, he's willing to work with this, as opposed to like, that's not my pronoun. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
that's not who I
right,
am.
right,
Do you see
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of it too, where, the other person can be like, I'm not calling you that,
Yeah, you got to give.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's I don't know, like this whole thing about the pedophilia thing, it's a
Orientation.
an orientation now, and I'm like, okay, so what's to stop you from saying that you're a fly, you're a cockroach? Like there is some level of ridiculousness, and I'm like, why do I have to participate in your ridiculousness if you want me to refer to you as a rock? Or I'm like, leave me out of it. But then if you say that because of the politically
Well, you didn't say it.
ramifications.
If you say it, you done said it.
Yeah, I said it.
It's on record now. It's on record, but
I'm just trying to figure things out.
It has been spilled.
Don't hold this against me. I love Jesus. That counts for
Well, that's a whole nother story too.
But I think, once again, getting back to it, it's grace. If someone wants to be referred to something and you have the grace to, how do I put it? I guess accept them for who they are. If they come and they're a fly, or what I'm saying, they say something of the sort, Like for me, in my opinion, like if it's not doing me to say, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You a fly. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you're this, you're that. I think it all comes down to grace and compassion, at the end of the day.
Okay, so let me ask you
I feel though that if it starts to, and this could get religious, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you are, let's say like a Catholic or Christian, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And there's hard boundaries when it comes to that, then that's different. You can be like, I'm sorry, but in my beliefs, like I don't really rock like that, So that's where, it can get a little tough. If it comes to your belief system, like being, rocked, then I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I was watching a podcast. I'm not going to say what podcast I was watching, but I was watching something, and there was a guy on there with his transgender girlfriend, and she was like, I don't feel like I need to, if we're going out on a date for the first time, I don't feel like I need to let you know that, that I've transitioned and whatnot. And so the next day, I was at the gym and I was talking to my boy about it, and love him, and he's like, him and his family, they're just like they're white people, and they're like, they got Black Lives Matter. I mean, that's all. I didn't mean look at you.
He's like, shout out.
My bad, I look at Jason.
He was like,
they're white, man.
You look at Austin like they were your people.
They're of your species. But they're like social, he's like a social justice warrior, which is dope. I hate to call him that. Man, if you watch this, bro, you're not no social justice warrior. I'm just saying. But Black Lives Matter in their front yard and everything. So I was like, I was telling him about it. I was like, what you think about that? I was like, me personally, I was like, I would like for her to tell me, because, you got to tell me. And my man went off like, no, she doesn't have to tell you that she used to be a man. Why is that necessary? And he started giving me these crazy examples. And I was like, well, hold on. I was like, don't you feel like you're being a little extreme? Don't you think everybody is entitled to that opportunity and that chance? Let me know. I might rock with you, I might not, but at least let me know. I'm not saying as soon as we sit down around the table, you're like, hey, by the way, listen, But at some point, I would.
But I feel like that goes with most things that you would think the person assumes of you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be transgender. It could be, that you was locked up for 5 years. It could be that you not in this thing for a serious commitment. It could be that I don't want children. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I think if you are in your mid 30s and you going out on dates with women of that same age, then at some point the conversation is probably gonna come up about having kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But does she owe you? Should she have to tell you on the first date, look, I want children. If you don't, we done.
I mean, some have. That's a great point.
But you see what I'm saying? It's because I get it. Like you may go to the date with the assumption that this person you're with is a woman in the way that you want a woman to be.
Yeah.
Whom you're gonna be with potentially.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's at some point, they should let you know. But if it's the first date, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example because I've been through that. I experienced this. Mm-hmm. So I met this girl on a dating app, right? And I met her in the valley for a dinner.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know, man. I'm laughing because I'm telling the story. I'm laughing because I'm telling the story because I don't be telling people the story. Because I'm gonna tell you the lengths at which I went to discover if she was.
There's a lot of build up.
Wow.
There's a lot of build up.
Wow.
I hope the payoff is worth all of this.
Come on, man,
It better be.
Why are you saying that? You gonna make people think
you giggling and then you building it up.
Well, I'm gonna kill it right now. It ain't that funny, so don't expect.
Well, I
funny.
knew that before you started.
Okay, but you're making them think it's gonna be really funny. So I meet her at this restaurant, and the minute I get out of the car, I'm like, she looks interesting, And I know there's women out there.
Interesting.
She looks interesting to me. Yeah, so there's women out there that have.
Nobody want to be called that.
Wait. Before you continue, did you have any suspicion seeing her on the dating app before you saw her?
Well, first of all, you really asked me that question.
I did.
You know that, no offense to women, because men probably do this too now, but you know that when you're looking at dating apps, the angles, the softening app,
I've never been on a dating app before.
Me neither.
That was my first time and only time. I dropped it right after that.
Right.
After that, I was like, I don't need this. You know what I'm saying? There was the suggestion.
So you're not on dating apps right now?
Nah, come on, bro. Come on, man. Nah, man.
Don't act like it's beneath you.
I know, right?
I would love to see the profile pic you had on your dating app. You probably photoshopped some hair on your head.
Boy, that's a sensitive topic for me, bro.
I didn't know
for
that.
For all y'all out there, I can grow my hair. I just don't want to. I just don't want. Come on, bro. Come on.
Nah, man.
No.
I just don't want easy, man. Why we digress?
It'd be a long road.
You got to put that Deion Sanders on there.
It'd be a long road.
We digress right now.
You got to put that chia.
My
man, I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Why you laughing, bro?
Don't stop looking at me. I'm the white correspondent.
Okay, all right.
See, look at you over there looking for a white savior.
I know, right?
You looking for a white. Austin can't save you.
I don't want Austin, man. Hey, who you with, man?
All right, continue.
Oh, okay. So
I'm waiting for this.
Okay, so she looks interesting. And so, she had masculine features, which is whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? I know muscular girl, whatever. So I look at her and I'm like, man, she got some masculine features. So I'm like, whatever. So we approach the restaurant, and as we're approaching the restaurant and I'm talking to her, I'm looking at her and I'm like, man, she really got some masculine features. I don't know. This new day and age, things are different. So I'm like, okay,
What you mean by masculine features?
I was thinking the same thing.
Bro, why you
I was, yo,
She got a Adam's apple sticking out to her chin.
you gotta give some details.
What's a masculine feature?
Yeah.
Because you, I met you working at a gym, bruh. It's women coming there to be swole up.
Okay, it was okay. So since you asked, I gotta say the face, man. The face looked just very. The bone structure of her face was
She had a strong jaw.
She has a strong jaw, you know. And I'm looking at I'm thinking about the profile picture, and I'm like, man, it looks soft on the profile picture. But then I was like, they got abs that soften. So she had a strong jaw and the cheekbones, and I was like, man, just something's amiss. I need to find out. You know what I'm saying? I need to know. So I said to her, we're going to our table to sit down, and I said, hey, I got an idea.
This is not going to a good
It's not.
I was like, how about we just, you know, do some do something nostalgic, like, you know, we take a walk around, get to know each other, because I didn't want to sit at the table and, you know, and have dinner with her, because I was like, I need to know. So I was like, how about we walk around, we get the food to go, we walk around the valley and just get to know each other, you know, like take it back to the 80s, you know, like I used to be, you know. So she thought it was kind of peculiar, but she did it. She did it. I was like, okay. So, you know, we ordered our food and we walked around the valley, up the hills, throughout, I mean, all over. And I was asking her some key trigger questions.
You were asking her probing questions.
Probing questions, if you want to say probing. I don't think it was probing, but probing questions to find out was she a woman, but not have her know that this. I know.
This is bad.
But not have her know that that's what I was doing. So this was like a 2-hour process. We're walking through areas. I'm saying little key things, and first I just felt like she was dancing around all of my questions.
What are these questions?
I know. What did you ask?
So I was just like, when you were a little girl, did you always play with, did you play with dolls? Or it was always when you were a little girl, there's all this type of stuff, but somehow,
and you think that was discreet?
She didn't catch.
She's not gonna know.
She didn't catch on. She didn't catch on.
So you think?
So I think. So finally, towards the end, she was like, "Oh yeah, when I was, at 12 or 11, when I first had my first menstrual cycle, I was like, bingo. Okay, so you are a woman." But when that bingo happened, I was like, "Well, man, I spent 2 hours trying to find out if you was a woman or not. Clearly, I'm probably not that attracted to you because, So it was just
So
I gave her a hug and she went home. But my point is, now we live in a day and age where I did. I just gave her a hug and went home. Why are you laughing?
A doesn't believe that.
Oh, what you mean? No, I did. I'm dead ass. We ate the food. I was like, oh,
I think you're thinking what I'm thinking. I think you're thinking he got the green light.
no, I'm thinking
He got the green light.
I'm thinking your determination that she was a woman was the fact that she had a menstrual cycle.
What you mean?
So is that what for you? Is that what is the defining?
If you're taking it too deep, I mean, I don't.
It's not like I'm not taking it deep. Maybe you just in the shallow end and you need to come over here.
Well, maybe, but listen, you acting like I'm at home. Like what determines a woman is definitely menstrual cycle first.
What you mean?
I don't know. I
we
was,
are at home. We on your sofa.
I was acting on a desperate. Austin, help me out here. White man, help me out.
You looking for a
Why are
savior?
you desperate?
Yep.
Help.
Well, why were you desperate?
Which I needed to know. I wanted to know. Hold up, stop. Since I'm being, what would you have done? What would any of you have done?
Well, I don't think I would need to walk in the valley for 2 hours. I think I should. I think we could have had a conversation over dinner.
I shall fear no evil. Yep.
At least I'd have left being full. Now you're hungry. You done burned calories.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to
My
figure
man
out.
went on a 2-hour walk to
I'm trying to figure out why you felt you needed to go walking to do this.
I know, because I panicked, man. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I can't sit down. Let's walk.
And how old were you?
Man, I gotta be. I was 42.
Old enough.
42? Yeah, old enough to know, yeah. But man, I just freaked out. And I was like, man, I don't know. Let me just try to figure this out. But I mean, the whole point of it is like now we live in a day and age where you don't know. And then you listen to this woman say that I don't feel the need to tell you. And yeah, that's a great point. Maybe not in the first date, but what if I want to kiss you and then you kiss me? And I mean, I shouldn't feel, and again, I rock with all that too, but I feel like you need to give me the opportunity to know. And the wall that I hit with some people is no, I don't, or no, we don't. And I'm like, okay, so where is it then? Where is the line? Where is there a line at all anymore? Or should I act like there's not a line anymore? I mean, you know?
I think that's a tough spot because I feel.
What about just asking directly?
Oh, okay, so stop. I meet this woman for the first time on a date, and before we go in the restaurant, hey, just hold up. Did you used to be a man? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's
I'm
weird.
not saying like you have to do it like that, but if you're worried
How
about
are you saying it?
transparency,
That's the word.
buzzword.
Yes.
But I'm saying like,
No pun intended.
don't you? Yeah, but
So how would you say it?
it's 2022. You know what I mean? So it's like, isn't that fair game to be able to ask if it's like, hey, I just want to know. Like, it doesn't mean I'm gonna leave the date or not.
I think it's fair to ask, but you also, if you're going to ask, you have to be ready to answer why you're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And that's gonna come with some layers.
it's one of those things where there's the transparency aspect of it where it's like you need to know. In my opinion, if it's the first date, yes, you should know. But I feel like on dating apps, aren't there like, you know, signs or cues, like, do you know what I'm saying, where it's like, you know, drinker or not drinker.
Oh, sometimes on some dating apps, they'll tell you that they're transgender. Some will.
But also that could be on the flip side too, where it's like they could hit you with like well, does it matter? Like you swiped right on me. Do you know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter. You here with me right now. Like there's something that caused you to come out to dinner with me in the valley and walk with me for 2 hours. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
I've never told
like,
that story.
I'm just saying.
Never told that story.
You know?
You want to start over?
It's too late. It's too late now. It's too late now.
Hey, people get hit with that.
We're in it now.
No, you in it.
We in it. We a family. We a family.
I mean, because it is though. Like I do think it's if you're gonna ask,
Yeah.
and that person asks, well, okay, they say yay or nay. Why are you asking? Would it have been a problem if I used to be a man? And if it would have been a problem, why would it have been a problem? And then now you got to go deep within yourself and start to figure out, you know, how you've been conditioned and how that shows itself.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, expound upon it. What do you mean you've been conditioned conditioned for what? For what?
Yeah. So it's like if you, because.
You know, I've been conditioned to like real women. So, I mean, help me. Like that?
Well, that's the thing. Because if you were to say, I've been conditioned to like real women, then you're going to have to break down what's real.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even just saying that statement, someone could come back at you and be like, well, what's a real woman?
Well, see, okay, so and that to me is we have to be able to have this sort of discord, right? And talk about this. And that to me is peculiar because if you want me to accept what you choose that you really are, and I'm willing to accept it, you should be willing to accept my confusion and me being lost and helping me guide me through that, and also my choice. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as I don't like Lucky Charms. I like Raisin Bran. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if I like Raisin Bran over Lucky Charms, why are you going to try to convince me of all the hearts and stars and green clovers and diamonds? I don't want that.
But if you see Raisin Bran and it used to be Lucky Charms and it don't look like Lucky Charms no more and you can't tell, then what?
I'm done. The show, I'm done. I'm done, bro.
You know?
I'm done.
I think it all comes down to like everyone has a preference regardless of what boy, girl, transgender, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Everyone has a preference to the nth degree. So you can be as detailed as you want where it's like, I only, you know, like kind of like the topic of, I only date black guys or only date white. Do you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
I only date black women.
You know? Everyone has a preference. And I feel as long as you're accepting like, hey, like, you know, it's cool, you know, you do you, but this is
already dated black women.
We heard you the first time. This is what I want.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like you did not give Renee his undivided attention.
I'm sorry.
No.
Because you were thinking about an Austin joke.
He's got a point to prove, but
I forget it. Just ignore me.
Oh, no, we're good.
No, but you're right. It's preference. But we can't. Listen, man. I'm gonna be real with you. It is preference. But now I feel some type of way about discussing it. Like, I feel like the way the climate is going, I can't discuss it. I can't be like, I can't raise my hand in the class.
No, I
and
feel
be
you.
like,
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I should be able to talk about this.
Can we address the phrase "some type of way" as an emotion? Like you know, like no matter, like you know within the context what that emotion is, but why can't we just say the emotion?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, I felt some type of way when you ain't text me back the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like why can't you just say I was upset, bro?
That's so true. And to go even further, even though we don't say it, you understand what I'm talking about. There's like 80 different some type of ways. I know I can acknowledge every single one. And I felt some type of way when you be like, yeah, you was upset.
Yeah, my bad, dog.
Yeah,
my bad,
man. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's funny. That's funny, man.
I feel like you use that in the other way too, no?
What you mean?
In like a positive way, like in like a loving way. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that's
like,
true. Yeah.
Like I've had girls tell me like, "Hey, you making me feel some type of way." Right?
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Like, you know, so it's not even like a clear, definitive like.
That's what I'm saying.
Meaning, you know, it's very.
That's true.
Open-ended.
I didn't think about that. When you said that, I was like, nah, but you're right.
Yeah.
No, I hugged her, man. I was feeling some type of way.
Exactly.
That comes from the kin folks though. Like that's straight up. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Austin, y'all got some type of words that make that y'all use.
They just take it.
Oh, they just take it. See, he said he shot against you. I didn't shoot against you. Y'all do got something new though. I love that for you. What is that about, man? Where'd that come from? I love that for you. Where did that come
Another
from?
one of those catch-all, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
I can't stand when people say
I
that.
hate that phrase.
I hate that, man.
Whatever.
The girl said that
Statement.
to me. She's like, I love that for you. I was like, man.
That's that. Sometimes too, that could be a little jab though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they be
Right?
like, yo, you like my overalls? Yeah, I love them
Exactly.
for you.
That's true.
Exactly.
it's like putting Lil in front of anything.
Lil,
like,
yeah.
I like your little overalls.
Yeah, I
It's
like
like,
your little
I see you got your little Toyota Corolla. Same thing.
What you mean?
Yeah, that little, bro. That little is different.
Or sweetheart. Yo, don't call me sweetheart. Like, sweetheart. I'm like, man, what you trying to?
Who do that?
I mean, nobody. All right, this girl played me like that one time. I was trying to talk to her and she put her hand on my hand. She's like, sweetheart.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, she's not gonna talk to me.
Nope.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
slapped
I was like, call me
It's
sweetheart.
not that you didn't. It's not that you don't like sweetheart. You just didn't like what happened when she called you sweetheart.
I would follow
You
her.
was shooting your shot.
Made him feel some type of way, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe feel so.
You see that call back?
Yo.
Trying to jump in, made you feel some type of way, huh? You gonna find a way to work in I love that for you too? He couldn't wait.
Yeah,
He's like,
I took it from you.
it's a colonizer.
I know,
it's not
man.
Your fault,
My
bro.
bad.
It's in your genetic makeup. Jason, not you, bro. You get a pass. So listen, I'm sorry. I got to go back to the dragons and and elves thing. I'm gonna ask Renee first before I ask you. Hey, do you believe in like mythical things, man?
I don't.
You don't believe in nothing. Ghosts, Dracula, werewolves.
Ghosts. Yeah, I believe in ghosts.
That's like a supernatural.
But I feel like that's on a whole different plane than like
Than
elves
dragons and
and
elves.
fairies
Why?
and stuff like that. I don't
Ghosts
know.
aren't. I just want to say this. I'm not cutting you off. Ghosts aren't corporeal. You can't touch them. They're they're incorporeal, right? like I'm throwing words. Like that.
He was waiting to use those words. You can tell.
Yo, but the thing is though, you ain't used the word with conviction because you defined the word after you used the word. If you were convicted in the use of the word, you just would have said it and then you left it up to the rest of us to understand what
My
you
man has
saying.
one of those calendars. The word of the I'm gonna use this today.
I wasn't sure. I was like corporeal. Yeah. But thanks for pointing that out, Alzo. But elves and dragons, they're tangible. You can touch them. See, I said that tangible. Like they tangible.
I mean, honestly speaking, like I feel like there's much more. I mean, I don't even want to go into science with it, but I feel like there's so much more when it comes to ghosts and the dead, the living dead or whatever you want to call it. Like there's TV shows, there's reality shows of like going into like these houses and you see things move by itself or you see images and all that stuff, There isn't really a whole lot of that, when it
About
comes
elves,
to
like
about
reality
elves.
show. We're gonna
I
just find
do
elves behind
know like
Erewhon.
there are places though in the world where they have like elves gardens and like fairy gardens and stuff like that. Like that they actually do believe that like it is a thing, and you get to go visit these places. I don't know how much activity that they actually see at these places, but they do exist, but I've had some weird shit happen to me in places that I've lived.
Oh, tell me, bro.
I've had a TV turn on and off on me. like just randomly, like, and it had nothing to do with the power. Everything else was on, but the TV just kept on going on and off by itself. It was one of those. Why are you looking at me like that?
Did you move out?
Of course I did.
How soon?
Yes. Once the lease was up, it was like 2 months after.
So you stayed extra 8 weeks.
Hey man, I wasn't rolling. You know, when you pour, you know, you learn to make friends.
Man, what about you?
What do I believe in?
No, have you experienced anything somewhat otherworldly?
No.
Yeah. And it never happened to me either, but I'm gonna be real with you. I don't leave the door open or the invite for anything like that. Like, I don't even play with them like that. My boy was telling me that he was he met this girl at a bar, and she took him back to her crib, and they were about to, you know, have relations, and she was like, hold up. And she was like, he was in the bed, and she went to the bathroom, and she came back out of the bathroom like in her lingerie, and she put in some demon contacts in her eyes. And he's like, scared the shit out of him. He's like, what the fuck, you know? And I was like, did you get out of there? What you do? And he was like, nah, I stayed. And, you know, and I was like, man, you opening the door for some more weirdness. Did she take the contacts back out? And he's like, did you see her take the contacts out? And he's like, nah. I was like, what if they were her real eyes or whatever? And he's like, man, you crazy.
Man,
I just don't like to open up stuff like that.
I don't know, bro. Girl go put on some lingerie and some contact like that, you know it's about to go down.
I know. I'm here for it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm here for it.
I'm gonna stick around and see for a little bit.
No, I can't do it, bro.
I'm here for it.
No, it's about to go down.
All of it.
Huh? I don't know if it's white. I didn't ask him, but probably. But black girls probably do that too. But
I ain't like. I don't really feel like if ghosts do exist, they ain't really tripping. They ain't doing nothing to nobody. Like, turning the TV on and off, all right, bro, my electricity bill may be a little something more than what I thought it was supposed to be, but you ain't really interfering with my everyday life. I do think, though, like, just on a different level, I mean, ghosts, dragons, all of that stuff, like, I feel like it's impossible for our ability to reason to know everything. Like, we can't know everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if the distance from here to here, like, is everything, between this is everything we can know about the world, reason can only take us so far. And something has to be put in the rest of this. Some people put faith, some people put ghosts, some people put astrology, you know, some people put alcohol, some people put ecstasy, some people put, you know, all sorts of other stuff. But it's like ghost, myths, all of those things help us to understand the inexplicable about the human condition.
That's very well said. That's well said, bro.
So you think it's just humans looking for an explanation?
Yeah. And so I don't think it matters if it's true or not. Mm-hmm. If it works for you. Mm-hmm. You know, it don't matter if like some, you know, I grew up in the church. I grew up in the black church. You call upon the name of Jesus, he will show up each and every time. And I grew up with people giving testimonies in church about how, you know, like, you know, they were a kid, they were drowning, and then they called upon the name of Jesus, and then they felt the presence underneath them, lift them up and take them to the edge of the pool. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, if that's like, that's true to them. So if that's what you need in order to understand what happened, then so be it. It don't matter if it's true. It's practical.
Okay, so then what do you think about like psychics and like all those shows or like places where people go to like talk to, you know, spirits and you know, their passed away parents and stuff like that and relatives? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I feel like they're searching.
Yeah.
Like they're fulfilling a void. Like I don't understand. I don't understand why like bad shit happens to good people. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why kids get murdered. I don't understand why women get raped. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't understand why a monsoon will come and destroy, you know, a third of a third world country. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then the asshole like what's the Tesla dude name? Elon Musk. Like an asshole like Elon Musk, he got plenty of money. He can do whatever he wanted. Like, none of that makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. And so I think like when it comes to the idea of karma, like I don't know if karma is true or not, but it makes sense for us to believe in karma, because that would explain why good shit happens to bad people, because at some point it's gonna come back. Yeah. We may not see it, but it's gonna come back. Yeah. And I need to believe that it's gonna come back to you, because if I don't, then my whole shit fall apart, because none of this makes sense.
You're not gonna be settled.
No.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because that's very true. We need things to believe into and to cling on and hold on to. But on the flip side of that, it seems like questioning things now is a thing of the past. And if you question things, you're insane or you're crazy or you're a conspiracy theorist and whatnot. And my thinking has always been like, aren't I supposed to question the status quo? If you tell me not to go outside and I take your word for it for a while, ultimately, I think, organically, I think there should come a time where I stand up and say, hey man, why should I go outside? And then when you break that down for me, I stay in a little bit longer. And then ultimately, I stand up and I look out the window. Then I was like, maybe I will go outside. Close the window, chill for a little bit, and then organically and ultimately, I take my ass outside, right? Because maybe you were basing it on something that you were afraid of or how you were reared, how you grew up. And what was working for you may not necessarily work for me. But it's kind of interesting because now when people say, well, and I grew up, you know, obviously a Christian household too. But now when people say, well, you know, does God really exist? Or were we created by other race of aliens? Or is the earth really flat? Or this and that. Some things sound ridiculous to people. And yeah, I totally understand that. But why do we chastise people that question things now? Because that's how we advance as a race, right? The Wright brothers got laughed at when they said, you know, we're gonna try to fly. They got mocked. But as a result of them going outside of the status quo in their comfort zone, we booking flights all over the place like it ain't nothing.
Well, when you start to raise questions, then you start to disrupt people's comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like if you grew up reading the Bible, believing in the Bible, and that's woven into the fabric of who you are, and you start to raise questions around the authenticity of the Bible, now you not only are you questioning the book, you questioning who that person is because that book is woven into their identity, and you questioning they parents, they grandparents, they great grandparents. So now you telling me Mama was a lie when she said Jesus is the truth, the way, and the light? Because now you're raising questions. You like this shit is dangerous, boy.
That's true. You almost, in essence, breaking down institutions that have been around.
No, 100%. But this where I find fault though is when folks be like, they gonna question everything. They question the IRS, they question the church, they question you know, the education system, but they don't never want to question themselves.
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you start raising them questions for yourself, you start to see some ugly shit, man.
You know, it's funny.
It's probably not funny.
No, it's probably not funny. But man, I was listening to this psychologist talk, and she was talking to a panel of people, and she was like, hey, you know, during slavery, did you guys ever hear about any any therapy for the slaves when their children got taken away and stripped from them and sold into slavery and they never saw them again? And everybody was like, no. She's like, okay. She's like, during Jim Crow era, you know, when everyone was going through what they was going through in the 60s and the civil rights movement, did you hear about any therapy for the people that were hosed down with the, you know, during marching and getting shot and locked up? Did you hear about any therapy for the trauma for that? They were like, no. She's like, now, you know, black men getting shot and all these things going on, you don't hear about many, you know, people going to therapy for that, or just groups of them saying that we're gonna put together some sort of faction to help these people deal with this trauma. Everybody was like, nope. She's like, so where do you think all that trauma goes, right? Where do you think all of that goes? And then she went into the depth about how black people as a culture, like it's hard for us to question ourselves or look deep within why we do the things that we do. Like I was listening to this dude talk about how he cuts people off. Like when they do him wrong, he cuts them off immediately.
Yeah.
You know, asks no questions. He's done. And then he said when he went to a therapist, you know, it was very clear and evident to him that he did that because it was a defense mechanism because his dad let him down so much. He was like, okay, so you're probably gonna let me down. So I'm gonna, if you do something that's out of pocket,
protect myself.
I'm gonna protect myself.
Yeah.
And I listened to both of them back to back, and it made me think about things like, you know, questioning myself and the things I do, because what do they say? 80% of the mind is the unconscious that we use, and then the 20% is the conscious. And if 80% is the unconscious, then there's a slew of things that we do and react to that we're not privy to at that time because, you know.
You don't know why you did it.
Because you don't know why you did it.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing for me. I'm not even gonna lie, because I've never been to therapy. I need to go to therapy. I've never been to therapy.
You've never been to therapy?
Never been to therapy ever in my life.
You too?
Never.
I've been to therapy.
Oh, okay.
I've never been to therapy.
But you should ask yourself why you do some of the things you do.
Yeah, I've never done that. I'm under the impression I'm very aware of everything.
Yeah, well, are you aware of why you wore these overalls?
Let's talk about that for a second, since we're going to digress, Alzo. I ain't want to get into it, but let's get into it. I'm going to tell you, like I tell most people that question the way I dress. If you see me wearing something like these Carhartt overalls, you know what I'm saying, these vintage joints or whatever, and you think to yourself, like, what is he wearing? Trust in the fact that I am light years ahead of most people fashion-wise. You feel me? And that you may not understand that now. You know what I'm saying?
The only accurate thing you said was at the beginning.
Which was?
That we digress.
So you want to get back on it?
I actually do have some overalls though. I got about 2 pairs of them.
No, I don't.
You don't have no overalls,
No, I don't, dog. You ain't got no over. You step your overall game
man,
up,
I'm not that hard of a worker.
That's why. All right, guys. This is our end of the segment of Three Black Guys.
This it?
This it. Yeah, we just only go to an
We're
hour.
just getting started.
We're just getting started. That's what I'm saying. But
Right?
listen, don't trip. We're gonna be around for a long time.
Who gonna be around?
I mean, you know.
Closing statement.
Yeah, I got a closing statement.
Oh Lord.
You go first. You go first.
No.
You go.
No, that's you.
Love each other. Understand each other.
After all that you just said?
What you talking about, bro? Don't be like me, be better than me. I'm here to make the mistakes so you won't make the mistake. That's why I'm putting my business out here like this. I'm putting my business out here, me trolling around for 2 hours trying to find out if she was a man or I don't want you to go through that.
No,
I want you to go through that.
I don't think we would have gone through that even without your story.
But there's some people out there that's like me that would go through
But
that.
he's being vulnerable though.
I'm being
I appreciate
vulnerable.
it. There it is.
Don't persecute and chastise me for being vulnerable. I am here to suffer the slings and arrows.
Oh Lord.
So you won't.
Okay, okay, Kanye.
Oh God.
That's what you black guys in the couch. I appreciate y'all, man. It's love,
Appreciate
my brothers. Yes, sir.
Excuse the reach.
Yeah. Sorry about
I ain't
that.
tripping, man. I'm a humble guy.
Not really.